Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Democratic Dialogue of Curacao Tourist Board. Today is the first session of two of the same. Today we're going to discuss master plan, the first two phases of the master plan. We will be doing this also with a different group coming Monday, the 25th of April. We're going to introduce now to you the Democratic Dialogue. After this, Mr. Vincent van der Poel will give a resume expert session on what we're going to be discussing and talking at the table, and afterwards we'll start a dialogue.
It's important that we understand what we are going to do so that we do it according to the methodology that is subscribed. Actually, the two words of the name give us a very good idea of what we are going to do. It's called Democratic Dialogue. So the first thing is it's a dialogue. And a dialogue is a kind of conversation, but it's not any conversation. It's not a conversation that we will be trying to convince each other of how they should think and that we're trying to reach to a consensus on our table. No, it's more that we will bring up our point of view, our vision, what we think should be done, because there are actions that we are going to ask for. So we bring up what we think should be the action, and the others, we respect each other's opinion, each other's priority. There is no good and bad answers. No, there are just visions, how someone sees it. So that is how the dialogue will take place.
It's a real joy to begin to talk about some of the elements of the master plan. As you can see, the heading there on the screen really is a heading that covers the master plan, talking about building on the power of the past. And there's a reason for us talking about that. We're saying that what we want to do is really return Curacao to its rightful place in Caribbean tourism at the top. And the whole point of all of it is to improve the quality of life of the people in Curacao. I mean, we never forget that that's the overall objective in terms of what it is we are trying to achieve. Now, the thing is, Curacao was once the leader in the region some time ago. So when we start talking about some of the objectives that we are pursuing, we are talking about going back to where we were before. And so this is not an impossible task. This is something that we think is entirely and utterly achievable. Yesterday, we looked at the last 5 years, and you began to see that progress is being made. There are lots of people who think that, well, we're not moving that quickly, but quite frankly, progress is being made. If you look at the history of looking at the numbers of people coming into Curacao, you will see between 2011 and 2015, it went from 390,000 to 468,000 people. That's quite an appreciable increase in terms of what the primary, what we are trying to do. Then, of course, at the end of the day, what matters more than anything else is expenditure. How much are people spending? You will see the spend has gone from 351 million to 448 million. So there's no question that we are making progress in that direction. But the question is, why tourism? Why are we focusing on tourism? Tourism chose Curacao as opposed to Curacao choosing tourism. Many, many years ago, nobody sat down with a master plan and say, of all the things we can do, what are we going to focus on? And somebody said, aha, tourism. Quite frankly, because Curacao is such a compelling place to come to for people to enjoy themselves, the industry began to grow. So when people start talking about diversifying the economy, you can only diversify it in an area where you have a competitive and comparative advantage. And very clearly, Curacao has an advantage in that area.